Hi, I'm Derek Manfield and you're watching Toffee TV.
Welcome to Toffee TV. It's me, Baz. I'm in the main chair. He's off sunning himself. Do whatever he wants. We are here to talk about the new Everton manager, Ronald Koeman. It's finally been done after it just seems to have dragged on for ages, doesn't it? It seems to have dragged on. I am joined by Les Roberts. It's just here, living it, tight jeans, jeans that are bit just always a fashion icon.
It's ventilation.
Always, well, I can't really say much. Wearing the short, it's roasting.
That's all it is.
It's roasting. Les, you know, we've got him. Ronald Koeman is the Everton manager. Initial thoughts on the appointment?
One of my mates has made up about it. He's been buzzing about it. He wanted him from the start.
Yeah.
I was underwhelmed. I've got to say. I don't want
really underwhelmed.
I don't want to put it down on it. I was
underwhelmed.
I don't know why. I wasn't excited by it.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting more excited now.
Yeah. Okay.
The more I look into it and think about it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just too pessimistic, aren't I? But no, I'm made up now because you know he's a big name. He's done well at Southampton. He's won a few pots here and there, and I think he'll be a good fit. I think at Southampton, I think this might be why sort of their heads have fallen off more than they did about Pochettino, because he was a really good fit for that team.
Yeah.
He was bringing through the young players. He was buying in some good new players, and I think he'll get that at Everton, but just take it up a level. We've got a better youth academy. We've got more money to spend, which is not often you can say that about us. So I think he'll be a great fit.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're his 9th club of his managerial career. Like you say, he has had some success. He's won 3 Dutch titles. He's won
Ajax.
Cups. He won 2 at Ajax, 1 with PSV. He's won cups with Benfica, Copa del Rey with Valencia. He's had a little bit of some bad spells as well. It hasn't always been fantastic where he's been. But he's come into Southampton. He's had to deal with a lot. When he got there, it seemed as though half the team left.
But
It wasn't half the team.
Relegation set, weren't they?
You know, they looked as though everyone said they're going down and this isn't the right appointment, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of flew in the face of that.
Yeah.
And they finished, I think it was 8th the first season or 7th and then 6th.
Didn't it?
So he's done fantastically well at Southampton. Like you mentioned, he's brought in young players. He signed some excellent players for them. He's took them on certainly another level. So all the things that we would want from a manager, I would say. I'm a bit like you. I'm not underwhelmed. That
was probably a bit strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we'd have got Eddie Howe or
that would have
David Moyes, you might
the word is he's turned down Southampton, isn't it?
Eddie Howe, I believe.
So yeah, like.
So anyway, moving on. Let's not start that one. He probably would have been my 3rd choice if I'm being honest. I think I would have wanted Unai Emery, and I would have put Frank de Boer above him. To be honest with you, I think just because he's new, de Boer, he hasn't been in England, so I think that's probably why I want. He's had 4 Dutch titles in 6 years, a couple of runs-up spots. So I think his record is there. But this is the man that Farhad Moshiri's wanted. He's wanted him. Everton tried to get Jose Mourinho. There was some encouragement there, but I think mainly because he was playing United off. But there was still LVG.
Well, at least
may have stayed if they'd have finished 4th. That's what we've said.
And at least we were a bit of a bargaining tool there.
And we've gone in. At least it wasn't laughed at, which normally it would have been.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think after Mourinho, this was Farhad Moshiri's number 1 man. Let me ask you something, because it comes to me the more I think about it. Farhad Moshiri was well in at Arsenal. Koeman has been linked with Arsenal for well over a year now. I'm just wondering whether he's been privy to those discussions over the last 12 months and thought, if Arsenal looking at him,
maybe,
then he's good enough for us.
There could be something in that, because it's been pretty single-minded, hasn't it?
We could have had Frank de Boer for nothing. We could have had Manuel Pellegrini for nothing. David Moyes for nothing. Unai Emery buyout clause is £2 million.
Yeah, we're looking at 5 million over for this, and he's on 6 million
around
a year.
4 million and around 6 million maybe.
So he's been dead single-minded. So there could be something in that. He probably knows more about him. Well, he obviously does know more about him than we do.
In terms of he's looked at everything. So I think this is the big thing, and I think a lot of people have been. I think people have been surprised. I think people have been very edgy you know,
we always
over
are.
Everton. Well, listen, I think the biggest thing we probably all have to do as a fan base is we have to get our mindset switched now. We've been
definitely.
used to living in a box where we don't want too much because we're scared that when we eat for it, we've got no chance of
We've been
getting
there
it.
before, haven't we? We're like,
So we've just closed down, and I think
Yeah.
when you close yourself down, it's a defensive mechanism, isn't it, to
Yeah,
stop
definitely.
you wishing too much. But I think the
That's
landscape.
why I was underwhelmed. I don't want to be too optimistic about it.
I think the big thing is the landscape. This doesn't do my Sweden, and that isn't an angry throw, it's just getting on my nerves. I think the big thing for me is that the landscape has changed at Everton, and this is why I've been laughing at some of these so-called journalists who have been scratching their heads. That's why Ronald Koeman will want to leave Southampton for Everton. They obviously don't know football very well. Forget that. Listen, we can throw the fourth most successful English club all day long. We won cups and leagues and everything. We can throw the 31,000 season ticket holders or whatever it is that we've got out the door. We can throw the more Twitter followers, as Sky Sports like to put up the other day, out the door. If you look at Everton and you break that squad down, there's still a good squad there. It needs, and don't get me wrong, it needs improving. But Everton have got an unbelievable fan base. You know, the away support we have everywhere. Everton is still a big name. This fella is from an era when Everton were winning stuff. He knows that Everton are a name. You know, I remember him when he played against us in '95 and he had the Everton shirt on. That picture's been brought up quite a bit. So in his eyes, and in a lot of people's eyes, Everton are still a big draw. Southampton, don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing Southampton in any way, shape or form. They've been fantastic the last 2 seasons. And if this been 12 months ago with the same owner, with Bill Kenwright in charge, without Mashiri, I would have said, this is ambitious for us to try and get him, because they are arguably were a safer bet than
They always have been a steady club, haven't they? Apart from like the past few seasons when they got to St Mary's and they went down to League One. They've always been a steady club.
League One,
they've always been a steady club, haven't they? But did they go down to
They did, yeah. No. I was reminding myself, League One.
They won the Johnson's Paint though, didn't they?
They did, to be fair.
But they've always been a dead steady club. They were always like in the Premier League as a kid. They were always top division.
I'll be honest, I've always liked them.
Yeah.
I liked Letitia, I liked them when I was younger. Keegan and Shannon were there, and David Armstrong. They were great. They were just there was Peter Shilton, they were aside, Russell Osman, you know, no, I'm showing my age, but you know, all of those players at that time, I quite like Southampton, do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, and like you've said, you know, the Letitia era, they were always in the Premier League. They were just a good little club that were down there, you know. I don't mean little as in little club, I just mean they were just a good Premier League side.
But that's the thing, isn't it? You know, Everton, no matter what anyone says, it's a step up. For one, it's in the northwest of England, which is a massive football place when you compare it to the south coast. It just is. You can't,
and on a map, if you look at a map, it's up.
Exactly,
so there you go. You know
but you can't compare the two, really, can you?
No.
You know.
I just think, listen, Everton Football Club for a lot of people is still a big club. They're not, you know, they're not. Well, they are a rich club now.
I know, yeah.
They are a richer club than what they were. Obviously, all of this at the moment is still conjecture, isn't it? We haven't seen us paying £40 million for strikers and midfielders and everything else. But the money aspect of it has gone up a couple and 10 notches.
But talking in terms of a war chest now, which we never have. We've never had one.
We had the purse.
Yeah,
we had the purse. Just sat
a bum bag
just next to the knife
for the gunfight.
We had a little purse that had been knitted.
Yeah. But now we've got a whole war chest.
And now
I'm thinking a big one thing.
You pull it open and there's gold coins, and you've got
Koeman doing backflips like Scrooge McDuck,
and you've just got Cap and Jack sat there like that. I'm giving it all. That's terrible. I'm not even going to go there with accents and all that. But
I'm dead excited now.
Listen,
Forget what I said before. I'm dead excited about it.
It's good to see that I've got your excitement up a level. I think he's a big name. You know, and probably this is I would have to say that the most iconic Everton manager we've probably had, in terms of, I don't mean Howard Kendall for me. I absolutely love Howard. Loved him.
But outside,
didn't want him back the third time, not going to lie.
Outside of Everton, though.
But outside of Everton and stuff, you know, people go, oh yeah, Howard Kendall, good England. I loved him. Iconic that way.
Yeah.
But I'm talking certainly on a European level.
Yeah.
We've never had
anyone that
a
profile.
Ronald Koeman with that proof. We haven't had it. End of story.
No.
You know, end of story. Other clubs have had it. You go down that list of teams now. You've got Mourinho at Chelsea. Mourinho United, Conte in at Chelsea, Guardiola in at Man City. Obviously, the professor's still there at Arsenal, but he's still a big name.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Klopp at the other lot. You know, you're working your way down.
Guardiola at City.
You've got, you know, Pochettino if you want to put him in that bracket, which you probably do because he's done well. Koeman at Everton, it fits.
Yeah.
It fits.
It's timely, innit? It's like...
Do you know what I mean? When you're looking at those names and you're going, good manager, good manager,
Yeah.
good manager, good... Even Slav at West Ham, as much as we like to say it. But Billups, you know, you've got Koeman. It fits in with the names. The names are there. Ronald Koeman, Everton, it kind of fits.
That's it. You can't underestimate what a sort of a big name he is in Europe. He's done everything, hasn't he?
I think...
Even internationally. He's like, you know,
listen,
one of the
this is a
best
fella, he
centre-backs
scored the winner in the Champions League final for Barcelona at Wembley.
Final, that one.
Shocking, but it was a great
good free kick though, yeah.
You know, he's won pots at you know, at club level as a player. He's been the assistant manager with the Dutch national side. You know, he's worked in Spain, he's worked in Portugal, he's worked in Italy. You know, he's done. It doesn't work in Italy. He's worked in Holland. He's now come back. He's come to Portugal, England. Yeah. So he's been around. He's not perfect. I could pick holes in every manager. I wanted Emery. He didn't win an away game last season. Could have beaten Liverpool. You know,
that'd have been typical, is that though, wouldn't it?
Oh,
we get a manager. We won away. Oh, we had the best away record in the Premier League last season, didn't we? I think something like that, wasn't it?
Have you been listening to Mythinez again?
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
There was a time when we had a good away record. It was about November.
I think so.
After that, it went downhill. You know, but the Boer has never managed here, so you could pick holes in him. Then you went down to Pellegrini, who had a massive war chest at Man City, and they struggled to finish top four, just about snuck in.
Yeah.
You know, you could have gone David Moyes if you wanted to include him. You know, blah blah blah. You know, you worked your way down that list, didn't you? And you could have picked holes. There was nobody for me, other than Mourinho probably, who you would have got and gone, we're winning trophies, because that's what he does. That's what he does. He will deliver trophies for Manchester United, whether or not it's the Premier League or the Champions League. United will win cups under Mourinho, no question about it. Everyone else you could have argued for and against.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I fully believe. I went to Rudy Garcia, he's another one you could have argued. There was people like you know, Favre who went and has gone to France, and people like that who you could argue all day long. You know, but Eddie Howe, you know, he might be the next best thing. He's 38, a young manager.
He's younger than me.
He's a few years younger than me, but he's one that could be an Everton manager in, say, 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah. I think the thing with Koeman is, looking at his record, he doesn't stay around for very long.
As I said though, that could be. There's been, I think, Lyndon Lloyd on Toffee Web did a cracking article on him. And
good man, Lyndon.
Went through his career. And as I said before, it looked like Southampton was a good fit for him, because there's been times where he's been doing all right and things about him behind the scenes. He's got off. Some of the clubs, I think, it's just not been the right time. He's not been the right man for them. But it does feel right with us, with the setup we've got. I mean, I don't know if he, excuse me, he's worked under a director of football before.
He's under Les Reed at Southampton.
Oh, is he?
That's what he's been under.
Oh, right, okay.
And he works within that model, and I think that's another thing with Bashiri. The big thing for me, that like I said before, take the money aside. I mean, the fact that we've had to pay money to get him is a big thing.
Yeah, we would have done that in the past.
We would have probably gone, let's be honest, if we would have had Bill Kenwright, David Moyes would be Everton manager today. There's no question, for me, there's no question about it. Moyes would have been brought out at half time against Norwich.
Yeah.
With the scarf round.
Terrifying, isn't it?
You know, Moyes might, listen, David Moyes, I'm nothing against him. He done, the thing what soured Moyes for me was the comments when he was United manager.
Yeah,
you know, about when United couldn't call and Everton should step aside and all that crap that he came up with. If he'd just gone and not said a word, I'd have still gone, well, he done well for us. Yeah, he took us to a level, he got us steady. He was the safe bet for me, Moyes. Being here before, knew the club, would have got us top 8 probably without a shadow of a doubt. Probably wouldn't have got any better with that. This fella mightn't get us that, but he might actually get us more. So we don't know with him, but he's a name, and I think the big thing for me is that Mashiri appears to want this director of football in place. It's a structure that Ronald Koeman's worked under before.
Well, that makes sense then, yeah, definitely.
And so, therefore, everything, he's been under 3 director of footballs, I believe.
Oh,
so,
right. It's definitely something he
yeah,
works with.
so he knows the score with that. I think he works very closely with them. I don't think it's a transfer committee. There's some players, go and deal with them. I think he's very much involved in identifying, and that's what he wants. The interesting one for me in all of this as well, of course, is Monchi, who it doesn't go away, and the story hasn't gone away because Everton are very much in there and are receiving encouragement. The same with this. I've seen people say he turned us down, Ronald Koeman. He did not turn Everton down in any way, shape or form.
Yeah.
And I mean, a very, very good friend of mine put on Facebook before that he turned us down the other week. Dave, he didn't. He really, really didn't. And I can't believe he didn't phone me. He didn't. He didn't turn Everton down. Everton have had encouragement from day one from him. Hence why they've continued with this pretense of we want to get him out of there. If I want to buy you, or I want you to come and work for me, and you say, I'm not interested, no chance.
Yeah.
I just go somewhere else.
Well, that's it. There was other people to go to, wasn't it? It wasn't like it was the only fella.
You might go, Les, are you sure?
Yeah.
And you go, honestly, I'm not going to keep coming back. I'm making myself look stupid. The encouragement was there immediately, and hence why Everton went back. Hence why he still hadn't signed a new deal at Southampton. Everton are getting that same encouragement from Monchi, or from Monchi's advisors.
Yeah.
So there's still something in that. We may not end up with him. But we may end up with him, and that for me, it will be a massive statement because this fella's highly rated.
Yeah. Well, he was really got brought into Seville, didn't he, when they got relegated to turn it round, and he did.
He's been there 15 years, so he's ready to.
He brought through Reyes, didn't he?
His record.
Loads.
If you haven't done it, I'm sure every Evertonian probably has. I don't read of his stuff now, but if you look at his record of getting players in, it's incredible.
He's gone beyond his original brief, hasn't he? He really has. He's just
and some, to be fair. And I think that he's an ex-player as well. He understands the game. I think the thing with him is it might not fit with Everton's thing at the moment in terms of this war chest, but it's about what comes after that. And the real interesting point for me is this structure is put in place now. Ronald Koeman almost becomes a secondary thing if he's to go.
Yeah.
If he's to say Ronald Koeman delivered the top four for Everton and won a cup or something, and Arsenal, he was being linked with came knocking and he wanted to move. That wouldn't, I don't think that would offer the normal disruption with that format in place.
It's very much the way it's going with top managers, isn't it? They sign a 3-year deals and they're very rarely staying beyond that. So if you've got someone like Monchi's been there at Seville 15 years, if you've got someone like that at the top of the pyramid kind of thing, who oversees it all and he's the steadying influence, you can just keep bringing in. I guess that's what Southampton did, didn't he?
Well, they've done it. They got rid of Atkins and there was uproar. He got Pochettino in. Pochettino was going. There was noises made. He went and got Koeman. Koeman's gone.
Yeah, and there's been no disruption, has there?
Bring in I mean, for me, Frank de Boer would be the perfect fit for that. I know they're interested in Eddie Howe, but Frank de Boer would be the perfect person to go. And he costs nothing. Dutch mentality, everything else, he could almost fit in it. He's probably in a little bit better shape than Ronald, but he could personally probably fit in a suit there.
Yeah, he's got a good closing deal as well, he wears something different every game.
And he looks cool with that leg
brace.
I think that's why I wanted him, because he can carry a leg brace.
He looks that good on the side.
But it's one of them, isn't it? But I think it's interesting times ahead. Certainly.
Oh God, yeah. I can't wait for next season though.
And I think the big thing for me as well, and regular viewers of Toffee TV will know this, he plays 2 centre forwards. Yes, he has 2 strikers in his team, and he had 5 strikers at Southampton.
Yeah,
5. We've got 1.5 for Everton. If you join Coney and Nias together, not shooting down Nias, I haven't seen enough of him, but obviously he likes to play with a couple of centre forwards. Anyone who does that in this day and age is a big plus for me, because that one up from laborious crap I am bored with. And I'm interested to see how he blends the likes of your Tom Davises and people like that, how they're going to come in Kieran Dowell with the players who were already there.
Well, yeah, and you kind of know that he's going to do that, isn't he? He's not going to neglect them. He's going to look at the whole thing, and he's going to bring players in. I was like going into the summer, sort of the back end of last season, I was just dreading it because I thought all it's going to be is Lukaku's going here, going there, Stones is going here, there, Barkley. But now I think it's going to be, obviously we've got the money, we've got the manager in, it's going to be a lot more exciting, and I don't know, Lukaku will probably go anyway, but I think John Stones would be mad to go.
Keep that, because we're going to do another video about those 2
Right.
in a minute,
Okay.
and others. So make sure
Look out
you
for that one.
watch out for them. So there it is. Ronald Koeman is the new Everton manager. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Me and Les are buzzing. In fact, we're gonna have a little celebration to Ronald.
Nice Dutch lager.
Dutch lager there. I'll catch you next time on Toffee TV.